Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland BROWNS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you're a Browns fan, you know that every season brings its own set of surprises, challenges, and storylines. But this offseason, there's one story that's been grabbing all the attention, stirring debates, and sparking concern among fans and analysts alike. That is the swirling rumor mill around one of Cleveland's most dependable and respected players, Joel Bitonio. And let me tell you, this isn't just some passing chatter. It's a story that could redefine the Browns' offensive line and potentially their entire future. Joel Bitonio has been nothing short of a cornerstone for the Cleveland Browns. Since joining the team back in 2014 as a second-round pick, he's grown into one of the most consistent, reliable, and versatile offensive linemen in the league. Throughout his career, he's played multiple positions along the line, guard, tackle, you name it, and has been a leader both on and off the field. His durability, work ethic, and football intelligence are second to none. Over the years, he's earned multiple Pro Bowl selections and has become a fan favorite in Cleveland, not just because of his talent, but because of his leadership qualities. When you think of the Browns' offensive line, especially in recent seasons, Bitonio is usually the first name that comes to mind, a player who embodies the grit and resilience that the team is trying to build around. But here's where things get complicated. Rumors have been swirling that the Browns are considering trading Bitonio before the start of the season. Now, I know what many of you are thinking. Trading Joel Bitonio? That sounds crazy. Why would Cleveland do that? Well, in today's NFL, where roster moves happen fast and teams are always looking to optimize their cap space and draft assets, even the most beloved players are not untouchable. Reports indicate that Cleveland's front office might be exploring options, potentially to free up cap space or to rebuild for the future. The idea of trading a player of Bitonio's caliber, especially one who's been so vital to Cleveland's recent success, has sent shockwaves through the fan base. And it's not just about the trade rumors. There's also a lot of speculation about Joel Bitonio's future beyond just a trade. Some sources close to the team have hinted that the veteran lineman might be contemplating retirement. Now, folks, at 33 years old, that's not unusual. Many players start considering their next chapter around this age, especially if they've sustained injuries or if they're looking at the long-term health of their bodies. But the fact that there's even talk about retirement adds another layer of uncertainty. If Bitonio decides to hang up his cleats, it would leave a huge void in the Browns' offensive line, a leadership gap that's hard to fill. Let's take a moment to really understand what this means for Cleveland. The Browns' offensive line has been a work in progress for years, especially since their recent resurgence in the 2020s. They've made significant investments in developing their front five, and Joel has been at the heart of that effort. He's been a stabilizing force, a player who can be counted on in both pass protection and run blocking. Losing him, whether via trade or retirement, would be a blow to the team's chemistry, leadership, and overall performance. It would also require the Browns to look for immediate replacements, possibly promoting from within or making a splash in free agency or the draft. But it's important to remember that the NFL is a business, and sometimes tough decisions are made for strategic reasons. The Browns, like many teams, are always balancing between immediate success and long-term planning. They're looking at their salary cap, their roster depth, and their future draft capital. And in that context, trading a veteran like Bitonio might be seen as a way to accelerate their rebuild, especially if they believe they have young talent ready to step up. Speaking of young talent, let's shift gears for a moment and talk about a bright spot that's been catching everyone's eye, rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders. Yes, that's right, the son of NFL legend Deion Sanders. Shedeur has been making waves in training camp, and it's not just because of his famous lineage. The kid has been impressing coaches and teammates with his athleticism, football IQ, and composure under pressure. During drills and scrimmages, he's shown remarkable reaction time, quick decision-making, and a natural feel for the game. His arm strength and accuracy have also been praised, and many insiders believe he has the potential to be a game-changer for Cleveland in the coming years. Now, it's important to temper expectations a bit. Shedeur is still a young player learning the nuances of NFL-level competition, but the signs are promising. If he continues on this trajectory, he could push for a starting role earlier than many anticipated. The Browns are obviously in a bit of a transitional phase, and having a young quarterback with high upside could be a game-changer in their quest to make a deep playoff run. So, what does all this mean for Cleveland? Well, it's a year of uncertainty but also opportunity. If Joel Bitonio stays and continues to lead the offensive line, the Browns could be set up for success, especially if their young weapons develop quickly. But if he departs, whether through trade or retirement, it's going to test their depth and resilience. That's where the emergence of players like Shedeur Sanders could really come into play. Young quarterbacks often bring a new energy and can be the spark that propels a team forward, especially if they're surrounded by a solid offensive line, whether that's built around veterans like Bitonio or new faces coming in. The AFC North itself is stacked this year. The Bengals are coming off a strong season. The Ravens are always tough with their defense and Lamar Jackson's playmaking ability. And the Steelers, well, they're never out of the picture. In this context, Cleveland needs to be sharp, strategic, and ready to adapt. The rumors surrounding Joel Bitonio add a layer of intrigue and urgency to their offseason plans. Will they prioritize keeping him around to maintain stability, or will they look to the future and start the rebuild with younger players? Either way, Browns fans are watching closely, knowing that the decisions they make now could define the franchise's direction for years to come. And let's not forget, Cleveland has a passionate fan base that demands excellence. The atmosphere at FirstEnergy Stadium, the excitement of game days, and the hope of returning to the playoffs, these are what drive the team. The front office is aware of this, and each move they make is scrutinized with high expectations. The potential upheaval with Joel Bitonio is a reminder that NFL rosters are always in flux, and that the team's success hinges on smart, strategic choices. Looking ahead, there's also a lot of talk about how the Browns plan to address their offensive line in the upcoming draft and free agency. With the possibility of losing a veteran like Bitonio, Cleveland might be looking to bolster their interior line with a talented rookie or a seasoned free agent. The draft class is loaded with offensive linemen who could step in and make an immediate impact. And that's where the Browns' scouting and front office decisions will be put to the test, finding that perfect blend of experience and youth to keep their protection solid. Now, I want to take a moment to reflect on the impact of leadership. Joel Bitonio isn't just a blocker, he's a leader in the locker room. His presence uplifts the team, and his experience is invaluable, especially for a young quarterback like Deshaun Watson, who's looking to bounce back from some ups and downs in recent seasons. If Bitonio decides to stay, his mentorship could be crucial for Watson's development and for the younger linemen trying to find their footing. If he leaves, the Browns will need to find new leaders to fill that void, which isn't an easy task but is certainly not impossible in a franchise that's shown resilience time and again. And let's also keep in mind that the NFL offseason is never static. There are always surprises, trades, signings, and retirements that shake up the league. The Browns are no strangers to this reality. They've had their share of ups and downs in recent years, injuries, coaching changes, roster rebuilds, but they've also shown a capacity to adapt and grow. The core of their success has often been built around strong leadership, a solid defense, and evolving offensive schemes. With all these factors in play, the 2024 season is shaping up to be a pivotal one for Cleveland. Will they manage to keep their veteran stalwarts like Joel Bitonio, or will they embrace the rebuild and start anew? Can the emergence of young talent like Shedeur Sanders give them the spark they need to push further into the playoffs? And how will their division rivals respond to the shifting tides? These are questions that every Browns fan is asking right now, and the answers will unfold over the coming months. As we approach training camp and the preseason, all eyes will be on Cleveland to see how these storylines develop. The fan base is eager, the players are motivated, and the front office has some tough choices ahead. But one thing is certain, Cleveland is never dull, and this offseason proves that the Browns are once again at a critical juncture. The decisions made now could define whether they become perennial contenders or remain on the cusp of greatness. So, Browns fans, stay tuned, stay passionate, and keep the faith. This is what makes being a part of this community so special: the hope, the excitement, and the unwavering belief that better days are ahead. Whether Joel Bitonio stays in Cleveland or moves on, whether Shedeur Sanders becomes a star or takes some time to develop, one thing is for sure: the 2024 season will be one to remember. And I'll be here to bring you every twist, every turn, and every big development. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Cleveland Browns news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Now folks, as we wrap up this deep dive into the latest Browns drama, I want to hear from you. What's your take on all these rumors about Joel Bitonio? Do you think he's going to stay, or is he on his way out? And what about the young guns like Shedeur Sanders? Are you excited to see what he brings to Cleveland? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because your opinion matters so much to us and to the Browns. Remember, this is a passionate community and every voice counts. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, more analysis, and the latest news from Cleveland. So stay tuned, Browns fans, because the best is yet to come. Let's keep the faith and as always, go Browns.